Hello and welcome back. My name is Amaye. I'm here with D&D Fuzzy Tales, bringing you another horror story from Reddit, this time by Shiro15619. The title is Most of the Party Tries to Destroy Me and Someone Else's Characters for Being Furries. Let's begin. So let me just set the scene. About a year ago I was playing with a group that played D&D 5e with most Unearthed Arcana and Homebrew as long as it was approved by one of the 3 DMs. The group was small, only about 19 players. The setting was a homebrew world called Vala. Our group had tiers that worked based on your character's levels to help the DM keep things balanced on each side of the table. PvP was allowed, and the DMs generally couldn't interfere if the characters wanted to fight. I had 2 different characters I like to switch between. A second tier male Ixalan, Vampire Eldritch Knight, and a first-tier female Kitsune Hexblade named Eiko. This story is obviously about Eiko, so I had played with all 3 of the DMs, which were pretty chill, but only about half the players. I typically played with about 5 of them on a normal basis. This session, most of my normal party was busy, so I had to play with mostly a different group of players. They were as follows. 1. A human male fighter named Gerald. 2. A female tiefling rogue named Amira. 3. A male orc bard named Zig. 4. A male Kenra paladin named Amasis. 5. A female, obviously, Amazon assault warden named Tadia, who I've been playing with before. Now, it's worth noting that Gerald, Amira, Zig, and Amasis were all level 1. Tadia was level 3, and I was level 4. The table was a tier 1 table, so we all went to the local inn and took up the same quest from the quest board. After we all took it, we were directed to a booth by the barkeeper to introduce our party to each other. We then got to introduce our characters, and I noticed some of the players made some weird faces when Amasis and I introduced ourselves. I didn't really think much of it, and proceeded to play as normal. Our party messes around for a while and eventually makes it to the underground cave system where the quest was in. We kill some skeletons and animated armors, then take a long rest. The session stops so we could all get some lunch, and once we get back we start up again and proceed through the cave system. After a few encounters, Amira decides to start stealthing. I thought this was just her preparing for whatever enemies we may run into next. I was wrong. Out of nowhere, she sneak attacks Amasis with her short bow. She rolled a 20, so a crit with a sneak attack shortbow that had poison-tipped arrows kills Amasis instantly. Tadia and myself were completely taken by surprise. When the DM asked Amira's player why they did that, he only replied with, "He was a furry, I don't like them." Afterwards, out of nowhere, again Gerald tries to sneak attack Eiko, my character. He missed, and at this point the DM seemingly starts to get annoyed, and asks who else plans to attack another player. At this point I was expecting both Gerald and Amira to pipe up, but Zig's player, who was actually a pretty cool guy so I didn't mind after he explained it, also said he would because his character was low intelligence and it would be in character for Zig just to follow the group. Tadia's player says she would back me up since they had adventured together before. We all roll initiative and the combat order goes as follows. Eiko, I rolled a 20 plus 3, Amira, Gerald, Zig, Tadia. So seeing as she was just attacked by him, Eiko goes to cast Venomous Ray on Gerald, and I manage to one-shot him. Amira tries to stealth again. Zig rages and attacks me as well, hitting me with a great axe. Tadia attacks Zig with 2 short swords. The first hit, and she used Soul Hammer to add another d6 plus 2 damage. Zig falls. I roll Perception to find Amira and roll high enough. She attacks me anyways and deals her damage. Zig succeeds on a death save. Tadia casts Magic Missile and drops Amira. Fight over. We tie up Amira and Zig. When they come to, we interrogate them. Amira says she did it because she hated all furred races, and Zig shrugs and says he did it just because everyone else did. We untie Zig on 2 conditions. 1, he doesn't attack any other party member again, and 2, he carries Amasis' corpse back to town. We leave Amira and the dead Gerald. Gerald's player gets pissed that we didn't revive him and leaves. What's left of our party goes back to town, uses Amase's resurrection flask on him, homebrewed item that everyone gets at level 1, and end the session. I later find out that both Gerald and Amira's players just don't like furries, so they try to kill furry characters. TLDR, half the party kills another player and tries to kill me because we're playing furry races, and they get destroyed by another player and myself. Edit. Yes, the PvP rule is stupid, and it was set in place by the original DM of the group, after he left the other 3 didn't want to change the rules. They got rid of the PvP eventually, unless it was in an officially recognized arena. I'm not sure why these players would get into a fantasy role-playing game if they're not going to be tolerant of other races, to be honest with you. But I guess to each his own. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.